All right, welcome to Witchpolice Radio. I'm back with a returning guest. It's been a minute since we had you on the show. I think it was the last one was in late 2021, so it's coming up on
Yeah,
3 years now. And you know, I know you kind of don't need to be introduced because you're a known quantity on this podcast, and I think in the local music scene as well. But I'm going to get you to do it anyway, and tell the people who you are, what you do, and we'll go from there.
for sure. Always nice to meet new folks who may not have heard of me before. My name is Ronnie Ladobruk. I'm a singer, songwriter, guitar player. I try to wear many hats.
Cool. And I think that you're one of those people who continually comes up in conversation on the podcast when I'm talking to other bands. It's just like it seems like there's a few people in the local music scene who just constantly get referenced, and you're one of the names that comes up a lot whenever we're talking about guitar. You seem to be brought up quite frequently, so that's kind of cool that people are always obviously thinking about you playing and sort of paying attention to what you're up to.
Yeah, that's a huge honor, especially in Winnipeg. Like this city is full of amazing guitar. Like everybody can play guitar, amazing. Like it blows my mind. So the fact that people think of me really means a lot, for sure.
Yeah. So I guess because it's been a few years since I've had you on the show, and obviously things have changed considerably over that time.
Mhm.
Most importantly, shows aren't happening. Shows are happening now after a few years of kind of nothing going on. Where are you at right now as far as your band, as far as your music? What's been going on in recent months or even years at this point?
Yeah, for sure. So pretty much the last time we talked, we were working on a new album with my band Ronnie Ladobruk and the Electric. We
Yeah.
released that. We promoted it heavily. We traveled to Ontario, which was pretty cool to do, especially like post kind of pandemic, like to travel again and play outside of the city. And then yeah, after that we did some festivals like Rock in the Fields, and then we kind of we kind of just kind of hit a point where we're just writing now. Like we
Okay.
haven't done a ton of shows. The first show we're doing back in a long time is the one March 30th that we'll talk about later. But yeah, we all kind of have our own things going on, family life, and I recently, back in September, joined the Holly Davidson Band, so we're gigging every weekend. And yeah, it's been fun. Definitely lots of music in my life. I'm very grateful.
Well, yeah, I think I saw that you had joined that band recently. So is that are you just doing covers, or is there original stuff as well?
So there's covers that we do some original stuff. That's kind of secret. Like I don't know how much I can say about that,
Sure,
but
sure.
yeah, for sure. It's no, it's been a blast. Like playing every weekend, playing these different venues that I've never really played before. Like we did the Marion, played the Spike, like these iconic places that I've never played before. I've had so much fun, and it's so cool coming like being able to be in the two different worlds, like the
Yeah.
cover band and the original band. Yeah.
Well, and I guess it's a different audience, right? I mean, it's totally
Mhm.
different. There's probably some crossover, but I imagine a lot of people going to see a cover band are not the same people who would go see you performing original material, and vice versa.
You'd actually be surprised.
Oh yeah.
It's a good mix of the same. There's between the two kind of worlds. There's always the one constant, which is the appreciation for the music, and it's been a blast. I've learned a lot playing with absolutely amazing musicians in the Holly Davidson Band. I've grown as a guitar player. It's really helped me a lot. I'm having a blast balancing the two worlds.
Is it different? After a number of years, sort of fronting your own band, now you're just sort of moving to the sideman role here, playing guitar. Is that a bit of a transition for you, or are you quite comfortable just being the guitar guy for this band?
I'm quite comfortable being just the side guy, especially when you got a singer as amazing as Holly. I've goosebumps all night hearing her sing. She can sing anything. Like it just blows my mind. Like it's goosebump city all night when we play. So
That's cool.
yeah, I love doing both, either being the front person or being the side guitar player. Like I love every bit of it. So.
Well, I think that just speaking of being the frontman of your own project, I mean, I think last time we talked, one of the things we talked about was sort of your growing comfort with being a vocalist and with
Mhm.
handling that part of it. Because the guitar thing, I mean, like you're known as a guitarist, right? You've had that
Yeah.
you have that experience. You're always playing. You've been playing alone and with groups and all these different bands over the years. How has that changed? Are you continuing to get more comfortable behind the mic? Is that like something you're now kind of second nature for you?
Yeah, 100%. I've been working on my vocals a lot. I've done a ton since the last time we talked. I've done a ton of acoustic gigs too, which are really cool. Kind of because there's no hiding with an acoustic gig.
Yeah.
It's your the guitar and your voice, and you've got to deliver. So I've really been working hard at becoming a better singer. I've gotten a lot of really great tips. And yeah, just practicing it a lot, like because I find there's a lot of responsibility when you're not only the guitar player but the singer as well. Because you can play guitar really great, but if your vocals aren't up to par, like people remember that. So
Yeah.
it's really important to me to have a good balance of both and work on both sets of the craft.
With the acoustic stuff, I mean, do you have to kind of obviously you're playing songs you already know and that you've done in the electric format. Do you have to rework sort of the way the song is just sort of set up because of the acoustic factor? Because I mean, like, people know you as someone who's doing fairly high energy guitar stuff, right? Which is very
Yeah,
electric, very loud, very distorted. I mean, the acoustic is the complete opposite of all of that. Do you have to,
yeah.
approach it from a different way?
Yeah, and that's the funnest part of it is kind of rearranging what you would do, coming at it from a different light, like knowing that like when I'm playing acoustic, if there's a solo section coming up where I'd usually just rip,
Yeah.
I got to make that work in the context of an acoustic song. So maybe I'll do some finger picking, or maybe I'll just stop and let it rip for a second and then go back into the rhythm. It's cool to kind of figure it out and see what would work best. And you're always trying different things. Like I've tried a bunch of different stuff out in front of different audiences, and you see what works and what doesn't work, and it's fun either way.
Does that transfer back the other way too? Like some of the acoustic techniques you're learning or employing here, did that transfer over to the electric stuff then too? Now that you've sort of had this experience of playing a song a certain way, can you then like backwards, engineer it to fit with the electric sound?
Yeah, for sure, 100%. And that's the coolest part too, is like maybe when you're doing acoustic, where you go full out, like full band going hard, maybe you do a stop there and
Yeah,
then people really react to that. So you bring that to the full band context. Maybe you do a stop, play with more dynamics and stuff like that. It's cool to blend both of those kind of different environments there.
yeah, yeah. Well, with your, I know you mentioned right off the top that you're sort of in the process of writing new stuff with your own band. Um,
Mhm.
is that band the same as it's been for a number of years, or have you had lineup changes, or is it the same guys you've always been playing with?
Oh, same guys, yeah, same guys. Jordan Feenstra on bass, John Dutch on guitar, Ryan Weave on drums. Yeah, we're the same lineup. It's funny, we haven't really gotten together to rehearse a ton in the past few months because we've all been so busy, like balancing like family and work and stuff like that. But I just know that as soon as we get back together, the chemistry we all have together, like we'll
Yeah.
be able to just go right back in there because we played together for so long. We can like read each other like a book. So
Well, it's muscle memory at that point, right? The song you just lock in, and then suddenly the songs form themselves, basically.
exactly, and that's not to say like we don't need to practice, but like it's an easy transition to not play together for months and then come back and just kind of be like, we're back. So
Yeah. I imagine that helps with songwriting too, and just that sort of the sound and the ability and then the way that you all mesh together with those guys, right? That's got to make it easier to sort of put a song together and knowing who's going to be playing it with you.
for sure, 100%. And like I've always said, maybe it's a little weird to say, but Ryan, the drummer of Ronnie Ladobruk and the Electric, that's like my musical soulmate. I call him. Like me and him, like we can read each other's minds. So when it comes to writing, even if we don't see each other for months, like
Yeah,
if I throw something at him or he throws something at me, like we've got it locked in. So
that's awesome. So what do you have coming up? Because I know you mentioned again earlier the guitar show, and I think this is the same guitar
yeah,
show that I talked about when I had Ash and the Arsonists on.
yeah,
I'm assuming it's the same one, right? So I mean, we'll get into the details of when and where and all that in a minute. But what I liked about when I was talking to that band about that show is that the idea of kind of bringing lead guitar playing sort of to the forefront again, because really in an era where you don't necessarily hear a guitar solo in every song on the radio anymore like you used to even 10 years ago, even 15, 20, 30 years ago. Of course, it was kind of the thing, right? So it seems
yeah,
like there's a motivation to sort of bring that lead playing and appreciation of that back.
for sure, 100%. And I think that's really like a really beautiful thing because it is kind of like a lost art.
Yeah,
Um, like some people have their opinions on it, like not every song is a solo, whatever, stuff like that. Um, I think that especially the three like the bands that are playing together on the 30th, March 30th at the Osborne Taphouse, those three players kind of highlighted in each band as the lead guitarist or what have you.
yeah,
um it like the skill and technical ability and just the playing of all of them is just absolutely incredible. And it's going to be really nice to showcase that art form during that night.
yeah.
And we've got some surprises planned and stuff. I can't say too much about it, but just kind of seeing what we can all do together in terms of like putting on a show is really spectacular. I'm really excited for it.
Well, I guess there's the idea of putting on a show too is part of it, right? Part of that lead guitar playing is a lot of bands, going back a few decades, they would have a lead guitarist, and there was a visual aspect to it. There was a performance aspect to it. It wasn't just playing great on the record. That there was like that was like sort of one of the people you gravitated towards as a fan. You'd watch the guitar solos, right? So there's, I
Yeah.
guess that's part of the art of doing it is having that theatricality and stuff on stage, right?
Exactly. Like when you go to a show and you see somebody doing something at such a level and such an art that it almost becomes like mysterious. Like I remember like well even to this day I'm 31, like when I listen to Eddie Van Halen or Zach
Sure.
Wald or Jimmy or All My Heroes, Dimebag, like when I listen to them all, it still blows my mind how they do that. So like I can't imagine somebody who's just learning how to play or kind of just appreciates that form of music,
Yeah.
somebody going to see what we're gonna put on the 30th. It's gonna be really inspiring, I hope. Because yeah, it is like I said before, it is a lost art form, and to be able to see it live and hear it and see that like you hear it on the record, but to see somebody actually doing it on like in a live performance is really a cool thing. So
Well, yeah, because especially nowadays too, a lot of stuff you hear on the record, there's just so many ways, tricks in the studio you can do to pull it off. Whereas pulling that off live, especially something that's really high skill level, that's exciting to watch, regardless of what kind of music you're into.
exactly, and that's the coolest thing. Like in the past, when I've opened up for some of my guitar heroes, like from like older bands,
Yeah,
like they didn't have the ability to go in and like stop a recording and start. Like they had to really be on during the recording session. They played it live, and hearing them talk about that and stuff is really inspiring. Just to know that like you can reach such a level. I'm not there yet. I don't know if I'll ever be at their level in my life, but it's inspiring to work towards it for sure. So
do you think that, I mean, you've been, like you said, you're only 31, but you've been doing this for a long time. You've been playing in bands since you were a teenager, right?
yeah.
Do you think there's been sort of a resurgence in guitar music, if you want to call it that? I mean, are there more younger people? I mean, because I'm 10 years older than you, right? So, I mean, for me, I'm that level detached from what younger people are listening to. Do you think there's like a resurgence in people wanting to hear that kind of classic guitar solo in a song?
Oh yeah, 100%. Like you see it everywhere. The guitar has definitely had a big resurgence, especially like with the guitar playing. Like even at the Super Bowl, her did that solo,
Sure.
and that was so cool to see. Like, can you imagine how many young kids see that and hear that and get inspired to pick up a guitar or play? Like, there's so many different examples of great musicians playing great guitar, especially nowadays. And to see that really at the forefront is really like you hear it all the time. People are like guitar is dead, rock is dead, blah 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 blah. Yeah, that's not true at all. You see it everywhere, and I think more than ever, younger musicians, older musicians, everybody can really see this resurgence happening and get inspired by it for sure.
Well, and I guess also like whatever type of music you're playing or whatever instrument you're playing, there's always going to be people out there who are kind of striving for getting this like excellence in playing, right? A lot of people are cool with just knowing three chords and being able to bash out a song, and that was me when I was in bands for sure. But there's always someone who's going to take it to the next level, right? Whether it's a keyboard or a bass or a saxophone or guitar, that seems to always be whatever style of music you're talking about, whatever era, there's that person who is looking for elevating that instrument.
For sure, yeah. And even just knowing like three chords, there's nothing wrong with that either. Like you see people playing like three chords. What do they say? Three chords in the truth.
That's right. Yeah, yeah,
With attitude, and that's just as impactful as a guitar solo. Like it's all the same thing. As long as people are playing, it's a great thing. So
yeah. Definitely, definitely. I think that's a good attitude to have too. Is just like because I think a lot of people maybe will hear, hopefully not, but they'll go to this show, they'll hear some really high level guitar playing, and they'll be, oh shit, I can't do this. But it doesn't matter, right? The point is that you want to pick up a guitar and play whatever it is you're going to play. It's not necessarily, oh, you have to be shredding. Maybe you get to that point, with a lot of practice, right?
yeah, yeah. The biggest thing I would say that we want to accomplish is like you don't have to necessarily shred, but what people should take away from the show is seeing how much fun we have. Um, and that could be fun doing a guitar solo. Like you don't have to be ripping all the time on your instrument to have fun. Like the biggest thing is just like the biggest takeaway, at least for me, is I want people to come to the show and see the passion and see how much fun it is to play an instrument and work towards getting to a level, not saying a high level, but working towards just being trying to achieve greatness. That's
Yeah,
what my journey is. I'm trying to be a great musician, and that's something I'm working towards all the time. So
yeah, that's cool. That's a good goal, I think, because that's it's not like a it's kind of a nebulous goal in that it means what you want it to mean, right? I mean, like whatever you consider to be a great musician, that's what you should be striving for. I think I like that. Between the bands that are playing at the show, obviously this isn't the point of why you're doing it, but is there competition between the three of you, just in terms of like this is a showcase of guitar playing. All of you are here to kind of like show off your skills. Is there a bit of friendly competition in that?
no, I wouldn't say competition. I would say mutual respect.
Sure.
Jamie from On the Fly is somebody I grew up playing in Selkirk, Manitoba. On the Fly played all the time in Selkirk. He's a guy I looked up to when I was first getting going and playing. And his like On the Fly would always have my band open up. Like we'd always open up for them at the merch in Selkirk.
Oh,
And
cool.
I've always had a mutual respect for Jamie and his guitar playing. And then Joe Carson. I fully believe that Joe Carson is one of the sickest guitar players in this whole city. I've thought that since I first saw Mojo, his band Spicy Mojo, at the Lyric Theater back in 2013. I was like, who is this guy? He just because back then I roll up and I'm like, people are gonna hear some guitar solos, and I'm walking up to the stage and I'm hearing this guy just rip, and I was like, wow. I can't say enough good things about him. He's gonna blow some minds. So is Jamie. It's just mutual respect,
Yeah.
at least from where I'm coming at it. So
Yeah, that's a good way to approach it, I think. What is I mean, in terms of achieving that greatness, like you're saying, you want to constantly get better at your instrument. What does that look like for you? I mean, is it just kind of constant practice? Are you practicing scales? Are you trying to be more creative with your solos? Are you trying to? Is it just getting to a higher technical level? Like, what does it look like for you to improve when you're already sort of known as a very good guitarist?
I think for me, because right now at this point, when it comes to technical stuff, I get like if somebody lays something in front of me and asks me to play it at this point on the instrument, I can play anything
Yeah,
really if I put my mind to it. I think the thing is just being creative, being aligned with my instrument. Like all the greatest players, you can consider the instrument like one with them.
yeah, yeah.
uh I think until I personally feel that moment, I'll always be chasing that. So, and I don't think I'll ever reach that. So I'll be like 80 years old still plucking away and not have that. So that's what I'm working towards, is until I feel the ultimate connection with my instrument.
Well, I think that all of the sort of the top guitarists, like regardless of genre, again, they have a something that is very clearly them. You can tell from a couple of notes who it is, right? I mean,
Mhm.
whoever that might be that you're looking up to. I mean, for me, it's Neil
Mhm.
Young. I can hear Neil Young playing guitar
Yeah.
solo, and I get it from like note one. It's like, okay, this is even if he's on stage with 20 people, you hear that sound, and you know it's Neil, right? What
Yeah.
do you think is your? I guess what is your sound, and or what are you trying to make your sound? Like, what are you going for as far as sort of the Ronnie Ladobruk sound as a lead guitar player?
I think the best way to describe my sound is crank it to 11 and let it rip. That's yeah, that's I would say just giving it all I've got. That would be the best way I could describe my sound.
Yeah, that's cool. That's cool. Do you have this show's on the 30th, which will be
Mhm.
people will be hearing this before then, which is great. Do you have anything else
Yeah.
coming up as far as shows with the band?
Yeah, for sure. So the Holly Davidson Band has some gigs coming up. We're doing by the time this is out, we would already played about. We're doing the Marion this weekend, 8th, 9th, and 10th. And then we're doing the South Osborne Legion on the 15th of March, the Rec Room on the 16th. And then we've got a really cool show that I would love to plug. On March 26th, we're playing with Christelle Dussault at the Park Theater. We're opening up for her and her band. Tickets are $25. You can get them at christelledussault.com. They're all also on TicketWeb. And that's going to be a really sick show. Like if people love like amazing vocalists and rock and bands, that's the show for them.
Cool. Where is she from? I'm not familiar.
She's from Winnipeg.
She's
Yeah,
local. Okay, cool, cool, cool.
yeah. I believe she sings in Snake Oil or
Oh, okay.
Icons
Yeah.
of Rock. Like, yeah, she sings in those acts, and she's absolutely unreal. And to hear her and like I was saying this the other day, if I didn't play in the Holly Davidson Band, I would go see the show anyways because to hear vocalists like Christelle and Holly both in the same show and one night, that's a treat that you don't get often. Like that should be this is my opinion.
Of
That
course,
should
yeah.
be like a Canada Life Center event. Like it's gonna be unreal. Like so,
What
I'm very excited to play that show.
what is sort of the? I mean, I know Canada Life Center. Obviously, that's the biggest venue in town, right? But what is sort of your goal with the Electric? Where are you hoping to take this band? Again, you've been around for a number of years
Mhm.
now. Like you said, you can read each other's minds as far as playing. You're very
Mhm.
tight band. You're all constantly getting better every year. What's sort of
Yeah.
the next step then? I guess for this band, obviously releasing more music is part of it, but
Yeah.
where are you hoping to take it? In this year and beyond.
You know what? That's a really good question because I've been thinking about that a lot lately. Like over the past couple of years, kind of like where do we want to take it? Um, I honestly don't know. I would say let's just keep putting out music. Let's keep if we get an opportunity, let's crush it. Let's be grateful for it. I think the biggest thing for us right now is just putting out great music and
Yeah,
whatever opportunities that leads to, whether it's traveling or and playing or opening for big acts or whatever it may be. Let that come as it is. Um, yeah, I think right now that's the healthiest mindset I can have about it for sure.
yeah, that's good. That's a good way to be. I think not without you not like saying, "Oh, we're gonna take over the world," but
Mhm.
maybe one day, right? But just keep plugging
Yeah,
away at it. Yeah, yeah, cool, cool.
yeah, yeah.
And then, so if people are unfamiliar with your work with the Electric, where can people hear it? What's the best way to sort of find the stuff you already have out, and maybe in future, find new music when it comes out?
For sure. So Apple Music, Spotify, all the digital distro platforms, like that. We have a Facebook page. Just look up Ronnie Ladobruk and the Electric. Um, yeah, I'm sure this March 30th show. This is the only thing we've got right now, but in the future we're going to do some more stuff, for sure. Especially with looking at recording some new music in the future. Um, yeah, just Facebook. We have an Instagram, but I'm gonna be completely honest with you. In the past years, like I'm a dad now to a 2-year-old.
Yeah,
I'm not really on my social media game as much as I should be. So we have those social media things. If we have something coming up, we'll put it on there, but we're not posting every day. So
yeah, no, that's fair. My kids are much older now, but I remember that age. So yeah, you're busy. You got stuff going on. Yeah,
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 for
right on.
sure. Yeah.
And then do you want to just plug the March 30th show one more time? Just I'll put the information in the show notes too. I'll link to it. But if you want to just give it one more plug before we get out of here, that would be awesome.
For sure, yeah. So it's March 30th at the 30th at the Osborne Taphouse. It's guitar night with On the Fly, Ronnie Ladobruk and the Electric, and Ash and the Arsonist. $10, I believe, is the cover. Yeah, it's gonna be a great night if you love rock and roll, if you love guitar, if you just want to come see um bands that have really put the time in, come out and enjoy, and it's going to be a really great night. And we like I said, I can't say what it is, but we got a surprise, and it's wicked. It is wicked.
Well, it's funny because when I had the arsonists on, they the same thing. They alluded to this surprise, whatever it is, and so I'm very curious how that's going to turn out. But yeah, people should check out the show and find out what the surprise is because I'm sure it's something really cool.
Oh yeah, it's going to be awesome. Yeah.
Awesome.